go to our website, www.bro4squad.com, on our homepage to see all 64 movies and each matchup. You'll see our bracket right there. Just click the Here button, and it'll pop up right on your screen. Our matchup for the day will also be on Facebook and Twitter, where we will need your help to vote to see which film makes it to the next round. And Jeff, why don't you tell our followers the first matchup of the day where they can vote?
That's right, guys. We have a very, very close matchup right now going on social media. It is between the Punisher movie starring the Punisher movie starring Thomas Jane versus The Crow starring Brandon Lee. Two very similar films and ones that we've noticed are very polarizing in the fan base. Please go to our Facebook page, our Twitter, check out the polling there and vote to let us know who the winner is, as that will be the deciding factor in who advances to the second round of the Comic Movie Madness tournament.
Fantastic. And that is up right now on Facebook, so go and vote and tune in to next week's episode to see who won. Now, let's go to some highlights on some previous matches before we get into our live event. If you didn't catch our selection show, which we did on New Year's Eve banner, please fill our followers in on the grading criteria that we will use for these films.
All right, guys, so we're not going into this just saying, hey, I like this movie better than that movie. We want to know why we like this movie better than that movie. You know our motto, show me, don't tell me.
Hi-oh.
So what we're grading these movies on are 5 categories. First category is going acting and casting. You can have a great cast, but the acting, they just mailed it in, and vice versa. You may have a shitty cast, but they act good. Next is story and plot. Does your story make sense? Does the plot continue to build to a climax there at the end? Next one, best scene. Pretty self-explanatory. Rewatchability is our 4th category. We want to know, how often are you going to go back and see this movie? Is this something you can pop in on a rainy day, or is this something that you got to be in a really dark place to go back and watch? And last but not least, we want to talk about impact on pop culture. That's a huge thing going on. That's a big category. That's one that is a sleeper pick that a lot of movies are going to steal. How did this movie impact the current culture and the current state when it came out? So there's our 5 categories, guys. Geiger, back to you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Mr. Banner. Now, let's go to some highlights of previous films that we already graded. First, Marvel's Civil War, which came out last Cinco de Mayo, versus X-Men Origins, which came out, who the fuck cares, because, no one really liked that movie. So, to the scoring, we scored it 13-2. Civil War moving on to the next round. First, calling out the 1 point, Jeff Hornacek gave effects on pop culture to X-Men Origins. So please explain yourself before we kick you off this fucking podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you, Geiger, for the opportunity. So, Captain America Civil War, and for what? I didn't even touch him. I did not touch the man.
Wow.
Captain America Civil War did a great thing. The Russo brothers showed that they are ready to handle the 2 Infinity War movies by putting together an ensemble cast. But did it break any mold that had not been done before? No. Avengers had already done the ensemble cast. Ant-Man had done it. Several MCU movies had before. The one thing that X-Men Origins Wolverine did, and a lot of us don't want to talk about it, but it gave us Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. Fox never would have listened to his pitch for the solo movie if he did not play Wade Wilson in the first act of this movie. And the Deadpool film, which I think is one of the sleepers to make the national championship game in our tournament, never would have been created by Tim Miller and Ryan Reynolds if he did not get the chance to play him in this film. Now, did they butcher the character? Yes. But the effect on pop culture is that the character and the actor live on in the role, and I think that's why it gets that point for me.
That was one of the 2 points. The other,
look, I want to call Geiger out on something. All right,
I'm the host. You can't call me out. Shame on you.
No, I'm
sit up in your little ivory tower.
Story
Shame on you and your man bun, Mr. Banner.
You give it story and plot. Defend yourself if you can.
It's very simple. Civil War didn't follow suit to the comics. I had a problem with that when we did our Civil War movie commentary that you can check on YouTube if you want to. It didn't follow suit to the comics, so the story and plot X-Men Origins, even though it was a jumbled up mess and everyone forgot everything that happened at the end, I gave it the story and plot.
So here's my question. Just because it didn't follow the comics, did it not have a good story and plot? Or one that was at least cohesive? One where you didn't require the protagonist to literally lose his memory at the end to have it connect to the other movies?
I mean, it would have, but don't call it Civil War. Here's an idea for a story. Let's do it called the American Revolution and talk about how America succeeds from Britain, but Britain wins. Why don't we do that movie?
If it's a good story and a good plot,
but it's a good movie.
If it's a good story and a good plot, it sounds better than all the members of the Red Army literally losing their memories at the end to forget that they had colonized America. That seems a little better writing.
Your baby Civil War is moving on, so you can quit bitching about it. And another thing that we want to talk about is Banner talked to me off pod that he had a really tough time. He wanted to give X-Men Origins best scene, but he didn't go with Civil War. So please talk about the two scenes that were up for debate on that.
All right.
If you say the helicopter scene, I'm going to vomit.
We all know that Fox are my babies. X-Men, I love them. It is very difficult to defend X-Men Origins. Like, damn near fucking impossible to defend X-Men Origins. But the way I looked at it, there is a best scene in this movie. There's a good story in this movie somewhere.
Oh Wait for that till our next matchup.
We need to make Brian Banner shirts that say there's a good movie here somewhere.
Well, the next matchup, he has a case for it, but we'll hear him out on this one.
Yeah, we'll get there. The best scene in Origins is when Wolverine is on that motorcycle and he sticks his claws into the ground, flips the bike over and goes straight at the helicopter, jumps up and destroys the helicopter. And
what did I just say?
Yeah, that is a great scene. I think that would beat a lot of other scenes in this tournament. The problem is it's going up against the chase scene in Civil War that it can't beat.
Or the airport scene. How do you beat the airport scene?
Thank you. I thought that scene. He thinks that scene in X-Men Origins is better than the airport scene.
And let's move on to the next matchup. I'm going to throw up.
No. Out of the three scenes, you go chase scene in Civil War, Origins helicopter scene, and airport scene. It's a close 1, 2, 3.
Nothing. That airport scene, you could argue, is almost more iconic than the Avengers.
All right, guys, we got to wrap this up. Moving on.
All right.
This was great, though. Civil War beat it 13-2, but we had like a 10-minute conversation about it. Try that, Skip Bayless. You try to have a conversation about shitty stuff. Try to do that. Okay, next matchup. Fantastic Four 2015 movie versus the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man beat it 14-1, a whole dominance. But once again, Jeff Hornacek, who has been drinking at happy hour since 3 p.m. New York time, gave casting to Fantastic Four 2015. Yeah. I hate to repeat myself, but explain yourself on that fucking.
And here's what I say, and I need to put this with a caveat of I gave Spider-Man 4 of the 5 points. It dominated. Here's my only thing with casting. 2 things for me. Number 1, Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch, regardless of the third act debacles that Josh Trank ran into. He followed through on Johnny Storm's through line, and Michael B. Jordan is an incredible actor. My main thing is Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan, and Kate Mara even included, while they had a horrible script, it's a horrible movie, and they did not give their best performances. I think if you actually look at the cast on paper, it's better than the mailed-in James Franco performance and the corpse of Kirsten Dunst in Spider-Man.
Banner, can I talk about this before you jump in? Before I get to this, if we had a category on first 40 minutes of the movie, Fantastic Four 2015 might actually have a legitimate shot of winning this whole fucking tournament. I'll say that. It was a very good movie for the half, about 30 minutes in. But what I don't get is that a lot of people on Spider-Man casting are going to be like, the casting sucks because no one's done everything since. And I've talked to Jeff about this. This would be like saying, oh, she's not good anymore because she hasn't made a tune, but Shania Twain sucks. I'm like, you got to take it in the time. In the time, Shania Twain was the best fucking country singer in the 90s. Kristen Dunst was hotter than shit whenever she did that movie. Just came off Bring It On. She did a lot of other stuff.
But she still has no tits.
Well, she did that movie with Orlando Bloom. That was kind of a chick flick that everyone fucking loved back in the day. I can't remember what it's called.
And that's a good point. I respect that point of view. I just don't – I see it the same way, but I definitely see where you're coming from.
I can see where the cast, as of to now, I don't really like Miles Teller that much. I've been pretty adamant about this.
He's polarizing. You're either on the side of him or you hate him.
Yeah, I like Michael B. Jordan a lot. The other people I don't know, very familiar. I mean, when they were in Fantastic Four, I liked them.
Jamie Bell and Toby Kebbell, who played Dr. Doom, was underused, but they're both very, very talented actors.
Well, William Dafoe's in the new DCEU, and I'm very excited to see what he is. He's a very character-driven actor. He looks fucking nuts, and I love everything he's in. Banner.
And he's in Murder on the Orient Express.
Do you have anything to add on this matchup that was a fucking rout, 14-1?
No.
Let's keep it
Okay,
rolling.
do you have anything to add on the Green Hornet movie that was also routed in our next matchup against Batman Returns?
Yes.
I
So
have another.
what was the
very,
score, real
very
quick?
Close best scene for this.
Geiger, real quick, what was the score of Green Hornet versus Batman Returns between the three of
I
us?
said it was a route 15-0. Green Hornet didn't even get a point.
Banner, I'll let you go first, then I'll jump in real quick.
All right. So this was another really close one for me for best scene, and here's why. When I don't even fucking remember his name. What's the Asian sidekick's name? What the fuck's that guy's name? Koi. Cho? I don't remember his name. I just offended like a billion people. I apologize.
I saw this movie 3 months ago, and I still have no fucking idea what his name
I
is.
saw it once it came out on DVD, hungover, and it made me more hungover, and I went to bed.
Yeah.
I watched it for half an hour. It was terrible.
I had no idea that people can make pictures inside of their little espressos.
Mm-hmm.
That almost won best scene for me just because it taught me something.
Because he's a barista. Here's all that I'll say. This is why the Green Hornet completely fell on its face. They got Christoph Waltz right after his Tarantino binge with Inglourious Bastards, and no one still went to go see the movie. He came literally out of oblivion and was nominated for an Academy Award for Inglourious Bastards. He's the villain in this. He's lucky he still has a career after this. It's a complete joke, and Seth Rogen, I know you're a fan of the pod. If you're listening, please mail me a check for $15 for my fucking movie ticket back. Batman Returns' best scene, in my opinion, is when Oswald Cobblepot interjects in the mayor's speech and basically takes over Gotham City, and the whole plot catalyst there. It's an incredible movie. Tim Burton, thank you for doing what you did. I'm sorry Joel Schumacher existed and shit all over your universe.
Can I say something as a DC fan? Yes, Matt, you can. Thank you very much. The casting of Batman Returns has an opportunity to not lose a fucking matchup throughout this whole fucking tournament. Danny DeVito was hot. Michelle Pfeiffer. You had Michael Keaton at his fucking prime. Whoever played Alfred Pennyworth and out the whole movie's end up. Max Schreck.
Billy D. Williams is
Billy D. Williams.
Harvey
Jeff,
Dent.
Played Max Schreck.
Christopher Walken. Wow.
Christopher Walken. I mean, you got a bunch of great actors in this movie.
Yeah, they fucking killed it.
Best cast against even an Avengers movie. That is a very, very good cast.
Agreed.
Okay. So now that you guys got the highlights, here is our live movie of the day. And this is where you guys kind of get the chance to see how we grade these things and how much fights we get in. So we're going to do the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that came out in, I believe, 1990 versus Thor: The Dark World. So, first category, rewatchability. And let's just go around the horn. Let's go Jeff to Brian to myself. So, Jeff, rewatchability, TMNT versus Thor: The Dark World. What do you got?
I'll keep this brief. I'll leave it with TMNT and over Thor, and here's my one main reason. Thor: The Dark World is the poster child for the cardboard Marvel villain, and TMNT brings to life an incredible animated show and an incredible comic, basically embodiment of exactly what you loved as a kid. That's why TMNT gets the point for me. Banner.
I will piggyback off of that. TMNT gets it. Mainly for me, it brings back kind of a little bit nostalgia from when I was a kid. Thor: The Dark World it wasn't there for me. I watch it before a new Marvel movie comes out. I try and watch the entire MCU up till that movie. It's getting really, really hard because there's like a billion of them now. But I have been known to skip Thor: The Dark World because it just doesn't fucking matter at this point. Now, maybe it will coming November. Maybe it will matter, and I should rewatch it. But as of right now, TMNT gets it because I just really enjoy watching these kooky puppet turtles on the screen.
Geiger, real quick, before you chime in, I just want like a yes or no between Banner and then Geiger, you jump in. How closely tied are rewatchability and best scene for you, Banner, in terms of all movies, do you think?
Very close.
Geiger?
Very, very close.
Not close for me at all because rewatchability is I want to, have about maybe 4 beers and watch a movie. Best scene is if I see FX and a movie's on, like, man, this movie sucks, but that scene's coming up, I might watch it, then I might go about what I'm doing, but I won't watch the whole movie. For
Fair
me,
enough.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just with you guys, that's a 3-0 sweep. I watched this the other night, and I enjoyed it very much. Even though it's like a Hanson Muppet thing, it still holds up for me. And Thor: The Dark World for me is just something that Marvel threw in there to have an after-credit scene to make you see more movies. I didn't really feel inclined at all to go see that. So next, effects on pop culture. Jeff.
TMNT. First live-action production of the Henson Company, not involving Muppets, involving the scenes. And I believe one of the actual first adaptations that took a completely child-driven comic we're talking ages 6 to 9, and adapted it to adult subject matter. So TMNT easily.
Banner.
Again, I give it to TMNT. You hit the nail on the head right there. It actually brought something to the table where Thor: The Dark World doesn't bring anything to the table. Thor: The Dark World is literally a placeholder for the MCU so that they can get to the next movie. If you remove Thor: The Dark World from
Nothing
the
changes.
MCU, it doesn't matter.
Nothing changes.
TMNT started something. It created something. We wouldn't have some things that we got later on if Teenage Mutant Turtles wasn't there.
Geiger.
See, I'm gonna disagree with you guys. TMNT, yeah, started something, but it ended with TMNT 3, which is, we need to do a movie commentary on that. Maybe the worst fucking movie ever fucking made. Whenever they go back in time to Japan, and Thor: The Dark World.
I don't understand the problem.
Even though it's not a good movie, it still fits into the Marvel movie and affects on pulp culture. You have to see it because I can't. You could give me the shittiest Marvel movie ever, but if you give me a great after credit scene, I will go see it on opening night.
Ooh, that's right. Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's hard for me, but I'm around a bunch of Marvel fans. I'm surprised I graded that.
Well, I
that
forgot
way.
that Thor involves the Collector at the end. That's kind of a big bonus point for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and again, based on today, I agree, or I don't think that it has it. Come November, ask me that same question. Thor: The Dark World may get this because we don't know what happens with Loki taking over Odin's.
Yeah, and Ragnarok and stuff.
That is going to play into Ragnarok. It has to. This movie, based on pop culture, it's going to set that up. It may win that point in November, but we're not playing the tournament in November. We're playing the tournament now. It's what have you done for me lately?
You got to beat the team in front of you.
TMNT has done something for me lately. Thor: The Dark World hasn't done shit for me.
Okay, this is kind of a shitty question, but casting, Jeff.
Thor: The Dark World has actual actors in it. 2 Academy Award winners, Portman and Anthony Hopkins.
Banner?
Same.
I'm going the same, too. It's hard to vote against Muppets. I mean,
Elias Koteas as Casey Jones is great. He's a great character actor, but, you can't beat what Thor: The Dark World has.
All right, guys, so for you guys grading along at home, and if you're not, I'll keep you up. That was a 3-0 sweep for TMNT, but now it's 5-4 TMNT. That 3-0 sweep for the Thor: The Dark World on casting got it back in the game, so 5-4. Best scene, Jeff.
The ranch scene in TMNT when Raphael is deemed basically dead, and the Turtles basically have their coming to age and realize that everything Splinter's told them is right. If you ever had a sibling, if you ever had a best friend in your life, you can relate to that more than anything. And as a kid, as a 10-year-old seeing the movie, that really hit home. Best scene for me, TMNT.
Banner?
Yeah, you fucking stole it. When they're sitting around the fire and
the drawings of all the turtles.
You see the little, the little like ghost thing in the fire. That right there, like, first off, when I was a kid, I thought that was so fucking cool, and then going back and rewatching it as an adult, like, it has meaning to it, and there's purpose behind it. Again, that wins best scene for me.
It's a dark movie. People don't understand this.
Very
and I
dark.
hope that it makes a run in this tournament because I don't know if we told you guys, but around the Elite Eight, we're actually going to rewatch all these movies and probably do movie commentaries on most of them. I agree with you guys that TMT should win. I disagree with you on best scene. The best scene to me is that I thought Raphael got to be more of a pussy as the movies went on, but this one, he was a true Raphael to the shows I always watched as a kid. And when Splinter got captured and he went down there and just started screaming and you could hear
he
it from
wanted
the
to
sewer,
murder everyone on
I still
Earth.
get chills from my body. He was so effing pissed. He's like, I'm going to fucking kill whoever took my mentor. That was my best scene. And whenever I still, and talk about rewatchability, if that's on TV and that scene's about to come up, I'm just like, I'm going to wait until Raphael just fucking blows a lid. Or the scene when he's on top of the roof and kicks the shit out of a bunch of the foot. And he's like, come on, what do you guys think you're going to beat me? And then they all kind of show up. He's like, good answer. And they just kick the shit out of him.
Yeah,
That's a really good scene.
Raphael steals the show in the original TMNT. We can all agree.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Michelangelo is still my favorite.
You are
All right.
Michelangelo, that's why.
Story and plot. TMNT, it was close, but TMNT is kind of pulling away. Let's see if Thor: The Dark World can make a comeback. The plot, story, Jeff.
No, I just have to go TMNT again. It was coming of age. It was the first movie, which I think gives it an inherent advantage. And the one thing I wanted to see in Thor: The Dark World was way more of the Thor-Loki relationship, and we really only got about 2 to 3 scenes. The prison scene and the scene where they pretend, spoiler alert, that Thor's hand was cut off. Not enough for me. Got to give it to TMNT.
Banner?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. TMNT, it had that brothers in arms kind of story, that brothers in arms kind of feel, where it doesn't matter how much I hate you. I mean, we get in fights on the show all the time, but yet at the end of the day, we're still brothers. We still love each other, and that's the story that TMNT told. I think Thor: The Dark World could have told that same story, but it didn't do it quite as well.
Good point.
Especially because they kind of negated everything at the end, because once Loki did whatever the fuck he did with Odin and took over the throne.
And can I say one thing real quick? Props to the Henson Company for being able to create these Muppets that we still feel these emotional through lines through in the movie, because it could have easily just fallen flat.
And I'll pick TMNT too, but I want to bring up something that we haven't brought up yet, and we were thinking about making this a category, but we decided not to because probably DC would win everything and Marvel wouldn't. But best villain, and we saw Loki, for the third time this movie, and we got Shredder for the first time in the 90s, and the Shredder was fucking awesome in this
Scary
movie.
as shit as a kid.
He still scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, agreed.
It was very well done, especially with kind of the underground thing, and then April O'Neil, her boss, her son was part of the Foot Clan and everything.
That was cool. That was a really cool and added thing that was never in the comics. I like that part.
Yeah. And I'm hoping what we want this to do is I'm hoping if you guys haven't seen this for about 10 years, go rent it from your local movie trader company, look at it online or something, go watch this movie again.
It holds up. It's a good film, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I mean, you never know. Here in a week, you might have to vote on this thing, and you need to be educated and watch this movie. So,
and real quick, Geiger, sorry, if you haven't read the original Kevin Eastman comics, they could not be more different than the movie, but I'm very glad that they are that way.
Yeah, and then I haven't seen most of the movies now, like the new ones, but I just don't think they apply to me.
They're shallow, yeah.
They're trying to apply to my little cousins, not to me. So that is 11-4. TMNT moves on to the next round. Thor: The Dark World is bumped out of the tournament. Their bubbles bursted. And that is it for us, guys. So, what do we got? We got Civil War moving on. We got the original Spider-Man moving on. We got Batman Returns moving on. And we got the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990 moving on. Tune in next week to see more of our matchups and who won our fan vote. Speaking of voting, check out our Facebook and Twitter at Bro4Squad to let your voice be heard. For all of our podcasts throughout the tournament, please check out our YouTube and iTunes and do us a favor and subscribe to both of those so you don't miss a single matchup. And if you're not sick of us, check out our website, www.bro4squad.com. It's going to be awesome, baby, so tune in next time for our tournament matchup.